And we are back. Welcome to Shark Coast Tactical Podcast, episode 41. My name is Will Mead. I'm the owner and creator. I am here with my amigos. Sorry. I just think amigos is kind of fitting with the riots that are going on. Omar Eisen.
Not how it's pronounced.
I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to say your last name. Luke, the Glue Andrews.
What up?
And the amazing Dean Carroll.
What's going on?
Before we start, two things. Number one, I want to thank the guys, including Eric. Well, Eric, this is his job, but Omar and Dean and Luke, they're not paid anything extra. They just come because I ask them to, and it's real nice because we end up staying here an extra 2 or 3 hours, and by the time they get home, and it's a cool thing for them to do, and I appreciate you guys. And of course, to our non-sponsor, the energy drinks. It's a sticking point with us. Like Omni Energy Drinks comes and gives us like 3 cases of free energy drinks, and we pass them out to the Sandblasters so we can get them nice and high to do their job. And Omar thinks it's not a real sponsorship, but I'll take it.
I don't think it's not a real sponsorship.
It's definitely not. You know, we should start getting paid.
I agree.
No, like, all right, so let's talk. Like, don't you think we should at least get some fucking ammo company should give us money? Not money, but at least ammo, right?
I'll take ammo.
I'm not okay.
Badlands Munitions in Arizona. Hit me up.
Okay, so now I'm getting the plight of the proletariat vibe from you. You know what that means?
No.
It means I'm getting communist vibes from you. Are you saying? Yeah. Do you like?
Okay, you can call me many things. Communist is not.
Well, then you're like, give me free ammo. That's exactly what a communist would say.
That is not what I said.
Okay.
I said, hit me up.
No,
Talk business.
Well, we should be sponsored at least by Pistol Pete ammo.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because we shoot. Don't you shoot Pistol Pete ammo? Well, no, that you don't shoot it. You don't like to shoot it.
I shoot them for the videos.
Because I make you do it.
Because that's the only ammo you'll give me. Yeah.
What ammo do we? What ammo? Pistol Pete. Oh. You look so bummed out. We sell it. It works. Take it. But we should. Don't you think we should? Eric, what do you think? Don't you think we should have it?
Get a sponsor? Yeah.
Well, no, like at least like an ammo company, like, or does that look really bad when you say, "Hi, hello, good afternoon. I'm Omar, and we're going to do whatever." I can't. I can't talk like you can. I can't.
It's from birth.
It's from birth.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like in the birth canal, there was a teacher?
No. You gotta. The language I was born into has a lot more sounds than English does, so I'm able to make a lot more noises. That's how it works.
Okay.
You can't say
What?
You can't say No.
And that's not right?
No, there's a difference.
Okay.
You can't tell because it's not a letter.
Say it again one more time real quick.
No, you're going
So this.
There's a difference. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, you're right. We can't say it then.
Yeah. Okay. So the only company that'll give us anything for free is Omni, and I'm grateful. So I need to give them a shout out. So, did you guys see the new Kamala Harris logo?
I did not actually. I don't follow Kamala Harris.
You don't have to follow Kamala Harris to see her new logo, but hopefully, like
new logo.
Hopefully, where's it at? There. What is that?
That's not real.
It's real.
That's not real.
It's real.
It's not real.
It's real. It's absolutely real. It is absolutely real. Got leaked. That's her new campaign logo of like different things, different colored people jacking people up.
It's just five guys in the shape of the Israeli flag jerking each other up.
Circle jerk. It's a classic circle jerk.
It's not a classic. That's not what it really is. It's they're grabbing each other's hands, but it looks like they're.
There's rods.
It's the other person's hand.
Yeah, but why is it the same color as the person it's in front of?
I don't know. I was wondering that. I was wondering that, and then I did research, and it appears that it's real.
What research? There's no way.
I did. I looked.
There's no way.
Research includes looking on Instagram for about 5 minutes. I saw it from a couple different places today.
Okay, yeah, because it's probably a meme. There's no.
It's not a meme, dude. It's fucking real. She's back.
She's back.
She's back. She's running for president again, allegedly.
Thank God.
With that amazing
know.
logo.
Yeah, I know.
With that amazing logo. It's like
not
it's
a
right
logo.
up there with the Obama Hope logo. The Kamala Circle Jerk logo.
It's not real.
You don't think it's real?
I can guarantee you it's not real.
Okay. What about you, Dean?
I think it's real. I seen it. Looks like a circle jerk.
Misinformation. I love spreading it.
Okay, so do you know about the Disney controversy with
Which one?
I think it's the Little Mermaid.
Sure.
Like if you like if you look at the Little Mermaid, the cover of the movie, there's the city in the background and it's a fucking cock.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about they made her black. I didn't know you were talking
No. In the original Little Mermaid, there's like a little city of where the mermaid people go, and it's like if you look closely at it, it's a cock.
It's like spelling sex with the stars on Lion King. I remember seeing that. You know that?
No.
Yeah, I
There's
remember
a single frame or scene or whatever in Lion King where if you look at the stars spell out sex.
Yeah, I mean, so there's shit like that. So maybe somebody was just being funny, and they put,
Five guys jacking each other off on it.
The only reason why I think it even might be kind of fake is because it's guys, and Kamala would not put 5 guys. But the Democrat Party is really trying hard to find men again.
They
You
could
know
be-
that?
It could be
$20
trans.
million.
though.
Yeah, $20 million to try to figure out why guys don't like the Democratic Party. And they've hired overweight, Latina, disabled gay ladies to check it. To try. Do you know that too?
Yeah.
Have you seen the overweight Latina, that girl who's in charge of it?
I have not seen this.
Oh yeah, it's pretty. Do you know about this?
No.
So really, like the demographic that's really shrinking with the Democratic Party is males, all males, black, Hispanic, white, Asian. They're all jumping ship and either becoming independent or Republicans. But they definitely all voted for Trump last time, and they've spent $20 million trying to figure out how to get him back. And there's this chick who is like the head of it, and she is her tag is disabled, obese, homosexual, or queer, like Latina girl.
It's definitely a circle jerk. Come on.
No, Omar.
it reminds me of that meme of Eric Andre.
No.
Shoots.
Yeah.
Who would do this?
Who's Eric Andre?
Don't know who Eric Andre is?
No. I'm 53, dude, so I don't really know.
One of the funniest guys alive.
Oh, he's the gay guy. He's the gay
Nope.
comedian. Yes, Eric Andre is gay, and he's like he's kind of black, but with a big afro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's gay, though.
He's gay. He is. I know for a fact he is. He is. He's a gay guy. It's okay. But he is.
Oh, I don't know.
Fuck, we need a Jamie.
We have one.
We got Eric. Right
He's not doing shit back there.
Yeah.
Eric doesn't do fucking shit back
That's
there.
why he can be our Jamie.
No, he's not doing shit. He's happy doing not doing shit. We couldn't. Yeah, it's gonna fly. Hey, Eric, you do? Yeah, he's not gonna do that. We need someone who'll really do stuff like that for us. What? So, all right. What about the Lucas Bodkin saga?
Continues.
It continues.
His statement came out.
Oh, come on! You don't want to talk about it.
I would love to talk about it.
What do you want to talk about?
I mean, for those of you who haven't seen it,
Okay.
he released his side of the story, and it basically goes along the lines of he started the company on his own, completely by himself with $2,000.
Where's the $2,000 come from?
What do you mean?
Like, why is it? So I've heard that a lot. Like, it's the $2,000. Where does it come from? How does he know it's $2,000?
He started his own company with $2,000 cash, his garage.
Oh, cash.
And he started making holsters.
Okay.
That's how he started the company. And then almost immediately after he started it, his brothers came aboard and they were like, hey, we want to be owners. So they drafted up some contract that he was 19 years old. He didn't really understand what he was doing, he said. And he basically gave up majority share in his own company, like right off the bat. And then afterwards,
In 2016, right?
2013. But yeah, right off the
No,
rip.
it's 2016.
Okay. Right off the rip, he gives up majority share of his own company that he started, and from that point on, it's basically just been him fighting the other owners on what he wants to do with his own company. And it got to a point where he believed that the values that he preaches in every single one of his videos and the values that he built the company on weren't being met. And it was just him saying it, but not the actual acts by the other owners. So bunch of different disagreements. He didn't go into a lot of detail, but apparently throughout the years, there's always been disagreements with what he wants to do versus what the other owners want to do. Eventually, it led to a point where he decided that he needs to own his own company again. So he made offers to buy out their shares and own his own company again. They refused. He did it again with a much higher asking price. They refused it again. He basically kept trying to get his own company back, and his brothers who co-owned the company with him would not accept the deals to get bought out. And a bunch of other events happened, and the final breaking moment was when the son of an executive at the company. Oh, another thing is he was trying to get.
What's the son's name? Does anybody know?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
No,
I didn't see
Nobody's
that.
doxed him, but
Oh, come on! It's not Big Balls from Doge.
No. It got to a point where apparently his family was not accepting of his wife, which is very heartbreaking. I mean, I can only imagine what that was like. But apparently his family did not approve of
It's
him.
very common.
Yeah, his family did not approve of him being with his wife. His wife's a chemical engineer, so he tried to get her to work for free for his own company because he thought that she could help with chemical engineering when all their mixes and whatnot. And they would not hire her, even though all the other owners, their wives worked there or whatever, and they would not let Lucas's wife work at his own company. And it finally got to a point where the executive son sent her pornographic images, is the most detail we've gotten. We still don't know exactly what it was. And he reported
Did he say pornographic images in the video, or
Yeah.
did he say something else?
I thought he said inappropriate. I thought it was.
Yeah, I thought he said inappropriate. Did he say pornographic?
In
I think he said pornographic.
In his video,
Okay.
he said pornographic. The initial statement from T-Rex said inappropriate. He said pornographic images to his wife. He reported it, wanted something done about this, obviously, and they would not do anything about it. They would not take it seriously. He tried to buy his own company back one more time. They refused it again, so he did the only thing he thought he could, which is separate. And that's sad. That's really heartbreaking. Like, for me, it's like he's got taken advantage of by his own family, and that's horrible. Especially with the values that they ascribe to, because his whole family's Christian and all that and whatnot. And sad. It really is.
Sad.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dean?
I mean, I seen his video
You watched
that
it?
came out. I actually watched.
Holy
it. Saw it there
shit!
and
Dean
watched
watched a fucking video.
I
No
watched
way.
a lot of videos.
You don't watch shit when it comes to guns.
it. What do you think? I
You
do?
don't. I know you. I know you, Dean. You do not spend a lot of time watching videos about guns. Am I wrong?
Then how do I learn to shoot?
Because you've already learned how to shoot. You've already moved on to your new thing. Because the type of guy you are is you get into a hobby, you master it, and then you move on. You'll still do the hobby, but you master something and then you move on to your next little project. Like you're playing bass right now, and you also have a cat.
I always had a cat.
No, but you just got a new
Yeah, I
cat,
got
so
a
now
new
you're
cat.
probably training your cat and your dog. You're probably doing that, and
I do that.
and the new video game you like that you shoot, whatever that's called. What's that called again?
Ace.
Oh yeah, Ace
and
VR.
then you'll shoot when you can, but like that's not your like you get infatuated, obsessed with different hobbies, and you become like a master at it. And then
if it's fun, yes.
if it's fun, and then
Yeah.
so shooting you already know how to do. You're not watching any videos about shooting. You're not doom scrolling through Instagram looking at shit. You're not. I can tell you. Am I right?
No, you're
Bullshit. You were bullshit.
I was just watching the video. What's that earlier today at work when I was in there typing the what is that? The new
Yeah, 'cause-
knockoff Staccato XC by what's that company? The Turkish company that made it.
Oh, fucking Tisa.
No, Garrison. Is that how you
Yeah,
say it?
that's T-Sas.
Yeah. Oh, is
Yeah.
that the same place?
That's
And I was
T-Sas, yeah.
watching that to see because the guy was like,
it is.
"This should be just as good as the Staccato XC," and I was like, "No fucking way." So I watch it because I shoot a Staccato XC. I do watch gun videos. But hold on, before we lose this, the Lucas thing. I watched it.
Okay.
I thought something was going to come out about the pictures a little more. Like, was it a dick pic? That didn't happen. I thought it was going to be a little more.
Were you waiting like me for the? He was gonna say. I wanted him to say dick pic. Were you waiting?
Yes.
I was
that's
waiting.
The real reason
I was
clicked on
waiting
it.
for him to say in his Lucas voice. They sent my wife, the chemical engineer, a dick pic. And
That's
the dick
exactly.
and the dick wasn't large.
I thought something like that was going to be said.
Me
so I watched the
too.
whole
Me too.
video.
Me too. Me too.
I didn't think we got enough like detail. I don't know. It was very glossed over.
I feel like the detail there isn't super important because at the end of the day, everybody thought that this one incident was, what caused it, when in reality it was the last 5 years all culminating and this kind of being the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, he's the one that gave away his company. But he did say in that video he didn't know anything about the 51%, and I'm just kind of like,
how do you not know anything about 51%? Like, how do you not know that 51% is a majority?
It says it all over, like, TV shows. Everyone knows this.
Yeah, but I mean, imagine being 19 and your brothers who you've looked up to your entire life, your older brothers are telling you this is the right thing to do. If I was in his position, I probably would have done the same thing. You're very trusting when you're 19, especially if you've grown up with 7 siblings.
I don't think you're very trusting at 19, but I guess it could be different upbringing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least I wasn't.
Different upbringing, yeah. I mean,
I tried to give my company away. I did. Yeah, I did. I remember like the first big gun boom that we got into, and I was just so busy and it was just me. I called my best friend, my friend Jonas. What's up, Jonas? I called him. He lives in Idaho, married to a friend of mine. And I said, dude, just come down here. I'll give you half. You don't have to pay anything. Just come fucking help me. And he's like, I want a business proposal. I'm like, dude, I don't have time to write a fucking business proposal. He's like, give me a business proposal and I'll come down. I said, no, dude, just come down, start helping me, start building ARs with me, start doing, gun shows with me, start fucking opening up boxes, anything, please. I'll write you. We can write a contract. You can have half. And he didn't do it.
But he feels stupid now.
No, dude, he married the fucking heiress of Ore-Ida Potatoes.
That sounds like a very lucrative business.
He did.
That is.
He did. My buddy Jonas married like one of the heiresses of Ore-Ida Potatoes and Micron Computers.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah. So they live out, and my friend Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie, if you're watching.
Back to T-Rex.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, wait.
You know me when I'm on the Omni. I'm all over the place.
When I'm on the Omni Energy drinks.
Sponsored spot.
Brandon Wombat, who is the, I believe he's a Marine Corps veteran. He's the military guy that worked for T-Rex. He was also doing videos alongside Lucas, just kind of in the background.
I thought he was a ranger.
Could have been. I don't remember exactly what he was, but Brandon, he's went on to a live stream like podcast thing the other night, and basically just did damage control. And it was
for T-Rex or
for T-Rex.
T-Rex Arms. Okay.
And it was.
Oh, because he's still employed.
Oh, yeah. And he's supposed to be like the replacement. He's supposed to be the new guy on the camera.
Well, when I first saw him, when I first saw him do a video, one of the videos I've watched of T-Rex, and I think I know, I didn't know the guy's name was Brandon Wombat because I've heard that name before. And I saw him and I was like, oh, boy. Because he's obviously a good shooter and he looks prettier on the camera. Like, isn't he? He's a decent looking guy, kind of thing.
Here you go with talking about how attractive that is.
No, he's a fucking like he's not. He's probably very filmable.
Sure. Anyways, he did damage control, and it was. I didn't watch through the whole thing because I kind of couldn't. It really upset me. But he was saying like the image that was sent in no way could have been construed as sexual harassment. It kind of not directly saying it, but his insinuation.
Do you believe him?
Fuck no.
You don't.
Like,
why?
Because T-Rex already admitted it was an inappropriate image. Lucas straight up said it was a pornographic image, and he has no reason to lie about that. Like, even if it wasn't a dick pic, maybe it was a fucking, porn meme, whatever. That's still sexual harassment. The fact that he's downplaying it and saying in no way could have been construed as sexual harassment, that really turned me off. And then he started saying, like, Lucas should have never shared this much information because it's very damaging. And it's like, yeah, that's what happened, though. His whole brand from the start has been transparency and being open with the people he's talking to. Of course he's going to tell the truth. And that was just very infuriating, like, to watch. I couldn't get through all of it. I watched a couple clips of it. I tried to watch the whole thing. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing this. Because it genuinely just felt like damage control. Like, hey, get out there and... It felt like executives telling him, hey, get out there and tell him that everything Lucas said is false and, defend the company, make sure we don't lose our sales. I feel like in the last podcast, before Lucas's statement came out, I said, I think T-Rex is going to be just fine. They're just going to take a hit in sales. I no longer think they're going to be just fine. Like, they have done so much damage. Another thing is their social media guy, whoever it is, has started responding to rage bait on their Instagram posts, which is like, that's the one thing you never do. And it was just...
What about with memes? I do that.
Like
GIFs and stuff.
Like, for example, they posted a picture they took of one of their holsters and whatnot, and somebody commented, and it was a top comment. It was, Lucas took better pictures. And it's clearly rage bait. Because everybody knows Lucas doesn't take pictures. And the official T-Rex Arms channel responds to it and be like, Lucas actually never took pictures. And then more people start rage baiting in response to that, and they're like, did you guys really think that Lucas was following himself around with the camera while he was shooting? Like, they're taking it super seriously. Like, they're not responding to genuine criticism or questions in the comments. They're responding to people who are just commenting to piss them off and be funny. And you never do that, especially in a serious way. You can respond to it jokingly, but if you start taking rage bait seriously, like, that's how you know you're in trouble.
So the guy that made the videos doing like the damage control, you said, did he say anything about them not hiring his wife and all the other things that he said? Lucas said about his wife in that
I don't
video?
believe so. Like I said, it was an hour and a half. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I just listened to a few outrageous things that people clipped that he said. I'll give it a listen to tonight, the whole thing. I'll see if I can sit through it. But I don't think he got into detail about anything Lucas said. I think it was more of
gloss everything over.
Yeah, gloss everything over.
What are your thoughts, Luke?
I was just thinking, I want to know how big they were when his brothers got involved. Because it's one thing to say that it's Lucas's company, but if you went from with somebody, your brother or whoever, and you worked at a company with somebody and you were just working out of a garage and you made it into a huge company, I feel like you would say that's my company too. Like, I think it's hard. It's easy because he's like the face of the company and he may have started the company, but if you put yourself in one of his brother's shoes, like, yeah, I helped you build this huge company and then you just want to buy me out. Like, no. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there is a little
more to the story.
There's more to the story. Cause like, I don't know. I feel like if anyone put that much work into a company and just because someone started it like a year before and you grew it to what it is, like, you have some kind of ownership of it. I mean, not just legally, but like figurative ownership. Like, I built this, I don't know.
No, it's a really good point. I mean, if you look at the time, so 2016 is when he brought on his brothers, right? At least his first brother. And then, so what's that? That's 9 years.
Yeah.
So for 9 years, they've been growing that brand to where it's the fucking behemoth it is today. And that's a good argument. Like, it's not really just you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean? But that's the problem with having partners.
Right. Yeah.
That's why you don't have partners. That's, I could never get anyone to be my partner.
Clearly to your benefit. Because imagine if you were ended up in this kind of situation.
I mean, I asked, like, I mean, I wanted to open up a pot place with my dad. Like, before I wanted, because like I knew that, like, did I tell a story of Bob last time I was here?
No,
I didn't.
No.
Don't know who
So
Bob is.
I was at fucking a Trick Daddy concert, right? Fucking Trick Daddy at the Sarasota Memorial at Robarts, right? There was like some fucking festival and it was put on by Sarasota people and Trick Daddy was there. And it was early in my like non-drinking years, like, because I stopped drinking in 2004. When I stopped drinking, I fucking had a bike. Like, I had a bike and I was poor. And I had started going to 12-step rooms and I was still poor and angry because I was poor. And my friend Bob, who I knew from the Columbia restaurant, I saw him at the fucking Trick Daddy concert. And he had like a hot girlfriend and he had a car and he had just recently stopped drinking too. And I was like, Bob, what the fuck? What'd you do? And he's like, I started my own business. And I said, well, what do you do? He's like, I do computers. I'm like, but Bob, you don't know anything about computers. And he's like, I know, but I do it anyway. So I was like, all right. And he's like, you just have to figure out something you can sell. So I tried to get my dad because my dad was a surgeon. I tried to get him to open up a fucking pot clinic in Arizona because it's legal there. I was like, come on, I'll sell the pot and you prescribe it, and I just thought that would be like, I thought I could do it, still clean and in recovery, but which is kind of a conflict of interest. But I thought, let's do it because I was so poor, I was on a bike. And my dad was like, no, I ain't doing it. And then I tried to get him to give me money and even invest in my company. I was like, can you at least buy me a camera? And he just fucking laughed at me. Yeah, I asked my dad when I started Shark Coast, I said, can you give me a camera so I can take pictures of girls with guns and stick them on a thing called Facebook? And my dad just fucking laughed at me. And then I told my mom I was doing it. And she was like, I'll shoot your eye out. You'll shoot your eye out. She said that. She said, you'll shoot your eye out. She did. She said that. And I couldn't get any help from anybody, but I get it to my benefit. I understand. So Omar, I see like, sadness in you from this whole thing. And I want you to understand that although I, give you shit about the whole T-Rex thing, like I understand that he's somebody you look up to, and he's somebody you obviously care about, and you care about his brand, and it means something to you, and I empathize with that. And I don't take it lightly. I understand it's something that's important to you, and so I don't want you to think that I take something that's important to you and shit on it, like you shit on PCC.
Thank you.
Or you shit on Dungeons and Dragons.
I don't do that.
Or you shit on World of Warcraft. Or you shit on
Game of Thrones.
Those things are important to me, but you shit on them. And that's okay because I'm older and older people get shit on. But I want you to understand that I empathize.
Thank you.
With your plight.
My dream scenario is their fucking stock value crashes as all of their sales stop because everybody's protesting against them and whatnot. And then the owners are like, oh, fuck. Look at all this money we're losing. Sell this shit back to Lucas now. But that's not going to happen.
But we find his wife cheated.
No, they agreed to. I thought I got out of the video that they agreed to sell the company back to him.
What?
Oh no. They're giving him money. Like they're buying the company from him, right?
No, they're buying out his shares. Yeah,
they're buying out his shares, right?
What I'm saying is, I hope that the fucking value collapses, and then he can buy his own company.
Oh, it's
back
going to
for pennies
collapse
on the dollar or whatever.
So that's the reason why I asked you how like where did he get the idea of $2,000? Because I have a very similar story. Like I maxed out I maxed out a Discover card with a $2,000 limit on it. Sorry.
Nice.
I did, but that's like, so I had a Discover card. All right, so I had my FFL and I was fucking around for a bit with just as an internet, and then I went to a gun show as an FFL holder and knew more because I'd gone to gun shows in the past, but I knew about guns more, about selling them because I actually had a license and kind of figured it out. And I went to a gun show and I was just like, yeah, I can do this. And because I was scared, I was scared. I didn't, I was terrified to like, oh fuck, how am I, but then I went there and I looked at everybody. I'm like, yeah, I can do this. And I maxed out my Discover card and fucking booked a show at the Fort Myers military fucking, vintage show, and went there and sold everything I had in a day, including my own guns. And so I really started from $2,000 plus like whatever other money I had. I sold my Taurus for the website to the driver at Robson Corporation. Anyway, so I can empathize with that, and I see that. My problem with it all is just it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And this is why. It doesn't make sense because how stupid can these people be who are his partners? How stupid could they be that they think that they could survive without him? That's just, it has to be a company of really fucking dumb people. But from what Lucas says and how Lucas is, like, so Lucas is obviously a smart kid, smart, talented kid, knows business, knows internet. So which usually means if you're smart and talented, your brothers, your sisters, and your parents aren't far off. Usually, like the apple doesn't fall that far from the tree. His brothers are probably at least almost as smart. His father, his mother, etc. So you've got a family of smart people, and his father's a pastor. So most pastors aren't dumb. So you have a family of smart people who've started this juggernaut of a company. and it's an accessory company, and accessories fucking profit margin's insane. It's insane. Like, it's so much better than guns. So they've got this juggernaut going, everything's going, and they let it fall apart. No, it's something. There's got to be something more. And I don't mean to be a conspiracy theorist, but I just know from a business perspective, like it's like fucking Lori. Like, it would be like, okay, so how do we do all of our custom guns? Lori fucking figures out how to do it. We couldn't do it without Lori. I could go get someone else, but it wouldn't be the same without Lori, and it would show, and eventually the fucking shit would start to fall apart. You know, that's called humility and understanding your limits. And that's part of business. And so how could the fucking brain trust of T-Rex Arms without Lucas not see that, look, you've got to keep Lucas happy? So how he goes into, they were mean to my wife. You know, they didn't welcome her. That's just fucking pathological. So this kid, who was obviously the face of your company, obviously talented. He's got his wife who, like, what the fuck? Like she's a chemical engineer and they don't like her? What? And they're gonna be mean to him? Like, dude, you don't fuck with your golden goose. So when the story of it is fucking pure treachery, which is not unheard of with family. Like, it's not unheard of for family to be so treacherous with money. Because I have family that are both dead and alive, and they're pretty treacherous with money sometimes. Like, my sisters will get absolute fucking buck wild when it comes to, like, money. Like, they will get crazy when it comes to money. Who gets Dad's house? Like, they're fucking weird like that. People get weird. You've seen it, Dean.
Yeah.
You saw it when someone died.
Yeah.
Like, people get weird when it comes to money. But so the family aspect of being so treacherous were knowing that they got him to agree to where he didn't own the company, that he owned what, 28%? Something like that.
I never got a real number.
Yeah, I think it was 28%. Something unrealistic like that. And then so basically you've got it's like fucking the gun industry version of Cinderella. Like, I mean, so there's like, you have two evil brothers that fucked the fucking kid, the golden goose kid brother out of the company, and then were mean to his wife, and then caused shit. So the whole last 9 years were bullshit. Like, it was T-Rex behind the scene was unhappy. His wife was unhappy. Like, fucking, they wouldn't hire her. They wouldn't even look at her fucking, the story goes, they wouldn't even look at her resume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Like, she sent in the resume, and while the other CEO's wife worked there. And see, that's hard for me to believe, because she's a body. And so when I'm running a company, like I run a company, like you hire people simply because they're fucking extra people. Like, if somebody sent me a resume, and it's somebody I know, like, we hired somebody today that, like, they're like, all right, you've got a brain, and I know somebody knows you, and I need extra people. You're hired. You know, so there's elements to it that are just so unbelievable, and that there has to be something more to the story. And I'd love to sit down and talk to the kid. I would love to fucking sit and talk with him and say, hey, like, what happened? And because I can relate to him, because I've got a business too. And we started not around the same time, but close to the same time. And $2,000, I had $2,000. But it's like your brother and your father fucks you. It's get worse than a bad movie.
Yeah, I don't understand how. Like, I would like to know the conversation that happened, that they talked him out from his 100% down to 28.
Exactly.
I would love to hear
Where'd you
that
get that
conversation.
The video.
I must have missed it.
It might, maybe I saw the number somewhere, but I watched the video too. Right when you sent it to me, I sat and watched it while I was playing WoW.
But even if it wasn't 28, the conversation that made him lower than 51%.
It makes sense. So if there's 4 people, right? If there's 4 people and they get 23, 23, 23, or whatever, and he gets 28, it looks like he has majority ownership.
Yeah.
But really, if the 3 guys get together, they own more.
Yep.
Right?
Right, yeah.
That's probably how it
Right.
works.
So
Hence the 51.
yeah. So hence the hence the 51 or whatever. But that just seems. So, and the thing is so you got all these smart people, and they obviously they know they fucked this kid out of the business. They know that they did wrong, and they know that CEO's kid sent dick pics, and they're just gonna let him walk. Like, dude, and that's the other thing in business. In business, you compromise. You know, because if you have any type of conscience, you make it where like there's 59 people right now depending upon us getting POs. And like, so I can't, like, for instance, like I can't go tell one client, oh yeah, go fuck yourself, you cock whore. Like, I can't do that. Like, if somebody pisses me off, I can't fucking say, go fuck yourself. You know, if they're a breadwinner, I've got to deal with whatever shit they fucking do and say, okay, let's keep going on because I've got people depending upon me. Those people, they've got 100 people depending upon their relationship, that company's relationship with Lucas to work out. And they said, fuck you. No, there's got to be something more.
Yeah. Something
more. But, and I don't mean, and when I say this, I don't mean to take it away from how you just, how your vision of it. I understand. I am conscious of how your opinion of this and the words you've used. But I just think I look at it from my perspective, which is a business owner, and I don't see how it's just all of it doesn't add up. And even the point that the part where he said, he talked to a pastor, and the pastor was a guy who did businesses.
Oh yeah.
Right. And this pastor said, you just got to quit and give up the company. And he's like, all right, that's what we're doing.
Pastor told him that he needs to separate with the other owners.
Separate with the owner. Yeah.
So he tried to buy his own company out to separate that way so he could own the company.
And that's another thing. So here, and then like, so like I've gotten in, like I've had to fight for my company multiple times, and not like pounding my chest, but I remember like I had a lawyer saying, you're going to lose, fucking sell what you've got, go open up a taco truck. You and your wife are young, have fun, hang out with your wife. You're going to lose and lose everything. And I said, fuck that now. I will fight these people. We're right. I didn't do anything wrong. And we won. Like, I can't imagine Lucas, like if he's the person who he is, I can't imagine him saying, fuck that, I'm going to fight you. And besides, if they sent inappropriate images, boom, you got fucking sexual harassment. Like, you can take that company down. You can, like, you're not going to lose if the CEO's kid sent dick pics.
Yeah.
Right?
There's absolutely no way you lose.
There's no way you lose.
Yeah,
like, you could sue the fuck out of that company and take it down. You could go to them and say, look, I'm going to bring a sexual harassment suit against you and fuck up all your days. Or we come to a thing where I have ownership or some kind of compromise. You know, that's how businesses work. That's how life is. You know what I mean? Not this.
It's different when it's with family, though. Like, I don't think he ever wanted to fuck over his family as much as he was probably infuriated by them having more control over his company than he did. He could release a video tonight that would completely burn the company down, I'm sure. He's definitely not.
He's already completely burned the company down.
Yeah, but with like
very
little.
No,
there's so many things he didn't say.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He knows that that company is not going to go anywhere. He knows that. So that pastor who sat there, the pastor I'm sure told him, look, you're the fucking golden goose. You can go do whatever you want. Go do this. But they're not going to be able to recover from what is going on. They're not going to be this big behemoth that is T-Rex.
I don't know. I've been thinking about this while you've been talking. And I know I am the contrarian.
Here comes Luke.
Here comes Luke.
I was thinking it's kind of similar. Might be similar to what I said about the SIG. Is like most people aren't into this. They don't know who Lucas is. They might still buy. They probably buy T-Rex holsters, and this is never going to come up to them.
All of T-Rex's customer base is based upon his videos.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Then how? What? So they Google fucking holster?
Yeah, dude. What's a good holster? T-Rex arms. Okay. I mean, like, look at the other.
That comes from. Okay.
There's a lot of companies out there that don't have a owner or a person that is on social media. Like,
but this
Safariland, no one knows who owns Safariland. They're
different.
How's it different?
This company was built by Lucas, and the whole image of him being online.
I don't think it's that way anymore. Though.
The only way they would survive, Luke, is if they went to distribution and they sold their line of stuff through distribution. But that's not what they do. They have their own line of stuff that is either they make themselves or they outsource according to their spec. Right. And then they sell as branded stuff, and then they also sell tons of stuff that's just normal website stuff, like fucking D-balls and shit and N-galls, or I'm not sure if they sell N-galls. But that's the whole thing doesn't make sense.
I know. I'm just saying that I don't know.
Oh, and there's no fucking way.
I don't know. I
Do you see the average T-Rex buyer?
He's like
he is
he's
the average.
a sycophant of T-Rex.
No,
like,
he's not a
top. He's the top guy.
He's not a sycophant of T-Rex.
He's like in the top 1%.
No, like go look at the fucking comments that popped up on the video that we put last night. Like we put the video last night out about us talking about T-Rex, and there was 10 comments on it right after it fucking premiered, and there are people that are pro T-Rex. Like and the minute someone says fucking something bad about him, these people attacked him.
Pro T-Rex or pro Lucas?
Pro Lucas. I'm sorry, I still call Lucas T-Rex.
So do I.
So here's my vision of like you don't have. I think he's got a million Omars out there that are just diehard people,
right?
And,
but the only people commenting are the people that are in this bubble of gun online drama,
and those. But I don't think that. So Sig is I get what you're saying, but Sig is a worldwide brand that has been around for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And people who buy Sigs don't look at the internet. You have lots of people who do look at the internet and hate Sig.
T-Rex
they called us today, by the way.
Sig did?
Yeah, they wanted us to buy 320s. They wanted us to buy like 320s that we could sit and customize, and like they called us the other day too. They're like, hey, like they talked about doing custom work with them, like how it works, and like it'll probably never go anywhere. It's not the first time we talked to Sig about doing custom work for him, but then they called it in. They're like, we got 500 of these guns, and what can you do with them? And are you willing to buy them? And I said, well, what kind are they? Like, they're 320s. I'm like, no. He's like, you wouldn't buy a 320? Hell no, I'm not buying a 320. Hell no.
You guys got any last words about T-Rex before we move on to the next topic?
I think they might be fine. I think they'll take a hit, but maybe they'll be fine.
What do you think, Omar? Do you think they'll be fine?
I don't think they'll be fine anymore. I did right before the video came out. My main thing that I want, taken away from this whole thing is there's preaching values and then there's living values. And abandoning your baby, the company you started for your wife, I think is the purest form of that. And I think a lot of people should take a lesson from that. That's my whole thing. I support Lucas. I will not be buying, as much as I love the product.
Are you going to be looking for a wife soon?
I don't know, man.
Well, no, I mean, maybe have you thought about like that love that he has with his wife and what he did for her, and then that you don't have a wife in your life, and maybe you should have one too?
No, that thought didn't really cross my mind. But yeah, but what I'm basically trying to get at is I love their company. I'm going to keep all the stuff that I've bought from them from now on. I don't think I'll be buying from them again. Right now, if anybody, people DM me 100 questions a day, and they're like, oh, what belt do you recommend? What holster do you recommend? And I always say T-Rex, and I got to find another answer, which kind of sucks. But
maybe a sponsor.
I'm still buying a T-Rex. I'm still, because you told me to get it, so I'm going to get it.
Sure. Yeah.
But that'll be the last and only thing I buy from them.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because again, the products were, mainly made for him, like for his spec. He's not necessarily the designer of everything, but he was, hey, this is a gap in the market that we need to fill. This is how we're going to fill it. Figure it out, kind of thing. And all those products are still there. They're still great. I'm not going to burn down my T-Rex stuff. It's just I don't think I'll be supporting them going forward. And respect to Lucas, and looking forward to his next brand. And I unfortunately don't think it's going to be a gun brand. So that sucks.
I would be surprised if it's not.
I don't think it will be.
I think Lucas needs he needs somebody who cares about him, like really. Like Lucas is like a rock star, and he needs a manager kind of like what Metallica has.
I think that's the complete opposite point that he took away from the situation, which is he does not need anybody else managing what he does. I think
he could use one. He's a good dude. I think he's a little too soft for the role. Because everything that he lost and gave up, it seems, it's outside eyes looking in, without a fight. So he could use someone with a little grit on his side. So that doesn't happen to him, I think.
I wouldn't say without a fight. He desperately tried to buy his own company back, and it just was no way. He was set up from failure from the first contract he signed, or what it sounds like to me.
So I had some match drama.
Match drama? Let's hear it.
Match drama. Have you guys had match drama?
Not really.
No, I did.
Yeah, I remember you.
I was fucking pissed.
So I get to the match at Take Aim on Monday, and first thing I do, like I was so happy to go. Like I went and bought snacks because there's so much time in between.
Yeah.
Right. I went and bought snacks. I found a refrigerator to put them in. I put them in, and there was a real nice backpack on the table that I usually put my stuff on. And my friend John was one of our customers. John also was his stuff was right there too. So I so this guy's big backpack is in the way, and I kind of just move it like a little bit like that and stick my stuff there. And then I go to put my gun on the gun table, and then I come back, and there's this dude there, and he's just looking at me like he's crazy, and he's like, "You moved my bag," and I'm like, "Yeah, I just moved it a bit. I moved it over." He's like, "No, you moved my bag." He's like, "That's really fucked up. You touched my shit." I said, "Are you really mad that I touched your shit?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm really mad. It's fucked up." And I'm like, "All right, I sincerely apologize. I touched your bag." He's like, "You should have moved your shit over here. My shit was here. You could have just moved your shit over there. But you touched my shit." And I was like, "All right, man, I'm really sorry. Can you accept my apology?" And he just shook his head and took off.
What? Really?
Yeah, he was going to fight.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so last week I'm all praising, "Oh, everybody's so friendly." And
Yeah. And then you find this guy.
everybody's so friendly. And then the last week I got 10th, right, out of 25. And this week I got 20th out of 25. And I looked at all the targets, and I shot better than I did the week before. I shot better. My time was better. I at least from all appearances. I mean, I think. And then even like one of the PCC guys, both PCC guys that brought their guns to whatever stage, like one guy's fucking had a suppressor on it, didn't work. Like he had a gun with a suppressor on it, didn't work. He stopped. That guy did better than me. The other guy, like he put a mag in his gun, racked it, it didn't work. He did better than me. So I was like, fuck, what's going on, man? So I got I wanted to ask you guys, since you guys are, Omar, are you okay? Or you're angry? We're talking about T-Rex.
No, I'm not angry.
All right. You have that look of,
I think he's just listening.
okay.
It looks like.
But the I get scared. Like,
Yeah, man, I'm just pissed off you touched my bag.
exactly. And then I wondered, I'm like, man, did they like not do the scores right sometimes, or do they not do the scores right on purpose? And how did I shoot bad? And like why were these people mean to me? And I didn't know. So I it's like the bubble, my match bubble got burst.
That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, I was all like stoked to do it, and then I woke up in the morning. I'm like, "Fuck, I ain't gonna do this anymore." Like, fuck these people. And I was thinking about, I was looking, because you told me you could find the stage props online. And I'm looking for the stage props. I should be getting ready. I'm looking up USPSA, match fucking whatever, because I want to build them and throw them at Kevin's house.
Yep.
Did you find him?
No,
No.
I'll send you a link.
no. Like, there's little 3D. There's like, they're almost like what's it called? Like, there's like little people and shit, little things that you can like make. Like it's called 3D models.
Oh, no. You don't want that.
No.
No. I don't know what that is, but that's not
What was your match drama, Dean?
That was at Manatee. Weren't you there? Were you there that day, Luke?
I think I might have.
I thought you were there.
I think I was, yeah.
Well, we're shooting a match, and I think you got 3 tries at the stage, just one stage. You got like 3 tries at it. Your worst one falls off, and they keep your best 2. My first one is actually really good. Second go was still good, and I was actually leading this at the time, leading the match. My third time, I followed the same path through the course, and then at the end, they tell me I'm disqualified. Not when it first started, no warning, no anything. And they said they told me in the very beginning that was the rules. You had to pick 2 different paths for your 2 counting runs. Since this was my 3rd run of the day and I ran the other path twice already. I wasn't allowed to do that one. I was not told that. And out of all my friends I went with, they didn't know the same thing either. And then they all found out when I got disqualified, and I didn't get a chance to reshoot it because I tried to say, no one told me. And I was literally standing there, and he's like, do you need the rules of the match? And I said, I think I remember all, but run them through me again just in case I missed something. And we're sitting there, we're talking. They're talking about all the rules. We're all listening. And I remember saying, is that it? That's pretty easy. Never did they mention his rule to me, and I was disqualified when I was leading. And I never went back.
I was there for that.
You were?
It was my first time ever shooting.
I was
anything.
mad.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I was
mad.
scared. I
was
didn't know you
mad.
well enough at the time. I was just like, oh, I think you might.
What do you mean? What do you mean you were scared? Did Angry Dean come out?
I
no,
was pretty angry.
it didn't come out, but it was like
Yeah.
you were seeing him. Like you were seeing him like crawling out of the well.
It almost did, and that's why I ended up packing all my stuff up. And I forget everyone is there. Sean was there, Tony was there, and they still had to shoot. And I was like, you guys just shoot. I'm just going to pack up. If you don't see me, I'm just down on the main line. Because I was just boiling, getting mad at the two people that were running it. And the more I see them, I was just like, I need to leave.
Who are the
Yeah.
people running it? Do you remember?
No.
I remember his name, but I don't want to say it.
You don't want to say
You know
it?
his name?
Yeah, it was Fish. Remember? The guy that was always there.
I don't remember his name.
It was
being
like him and
Fish.
his wife.
It's the
They
older
were
guy.
pretty nice.
Yeah, they
but-
were nice.
But the weird thing is that the way they had that set up, it was like one stage, and they had it set up for like months because we would go there almost like every other weekend and train on this one stage, and they never brought it up to us that during the
Yeah.
actual like.
Yeah, we knew months in advance
Yeah.
of the tournament.
Yeah.
And they were telling us the rules as we're going through.
What kind of match was it? Was it was it just a regular USPSA match or
No.
a 3-gun match? Was it like
You could use 2 guns. So in
Yeah.
this stage, if you wanted to shoot like
so
a
it
rifle,
was Florida multi-gun before the brothers took it over. Probably.
kind of something like that.
Probably,
Yeah. Because you can shoot just pistol. I shot just pistol, and then they had like a different, we'll call it division, for people that wanted to shoot rifle or rifle and pistol and transition to your second gun. So it was a little bit of everything on the same stage.
And you never went back.
I know, I never went back. I was.
What are you looking at, Omar?
Your scores.
That just really bothered me. I was like, oh man.
It was like a longer stage.
What do you, so after looking at my scores, what do you think? Do you think it's my time?
Your time is 0 for one of the stages.
Yes, that's what I was looking at when he showed me. There should never be a 0 because everything is on time. And that's how the hit factor works.
Interesting.
But then when you looked at other people, they also had zeros too. So did they?
Yeah,
F
and
up
if you
all the
look
times?
if you look at John Waswell's time, like there's like he don't if you can't fucking load your magazine, aren't you? Isn't the stage over?
No. The stage is not over until you unload, show clear, and reholster.
So you can stop and go get another magazine, come back.
Your timer's still going.
Your time will go, and you would lose to everyone. You would lose.
That
to
didn't
everyone.
happen.
Yeah, that's why I think something messed up happened at the time. I wasn't there, but maybe the times all got messed up, and they just let them go.
So
It's a practice.
Either like so if I go back, I'm just gonna like view it as like, but it's the reason I like doing it was because it's an extra day to shoot. Like you can get out and go shoot, and talking to Brian Keene's not too bad. It's pretty cool, and like sitting there and people are like a little more like some of the people were more friendly to me. Like other people asked. Like it sucks. Like this one guy who's really good who does the match. He asked me. He's like, "Hey, what do you think of Apex triggers?" And I'm like, they're great. And because he has a Smith & Wesson and he doesn't like the trigger on it. The only company that really makes a good one is Apex. Nate fucking hates Apex, and putting in Apex triggers is a nightmare. But I was like, yeah, I'll get you one, dude. And I was like, you know what? I'll ask Smith & Wesson. So Smith & Wesson is sending a trigger from the what's it called? What's the new gun? The new competition Smith 2.0 has a different trigger in it that will fit in an old Smith. And so Smith & Wesson is sending it to me because I asked for it. They're like, Eric, we'll just send you one, and Nate will put it in for the guy. So but the getting the scores, I was like, fuck. And maybe I don't know, maybe it's a lackadaisical match or something. Like
It's a practice match.
like you just don't get too serious about it. But I like shooting on Monday nights. Like that's kind of neat. Like I can go shoot because it's like an extra day. Maybe I should just practice more.
Yes, you should practice more. And everybody has bad nights. Like you can't expect
I
every
don't
time.
think I had a bad fuck. I shot, dude. I sincerely think I shot better than I did the other night, and I 100% worse.
Yeah, but you can't just focus on what your ranking was. Like, you got to actually focus on, this stage I got deltas. Why? This stage I got no penalty mics. Why? Like, you can't just focus on, from this random group of 25 people, where did I score when everybody else is shooting different kinds of guns and has different levels of experience? This is a practice match for you to go and see what is going on, and you 100% could have shot better than last time. Everybody else could have also shot better than last time.
Omar, you've come so far.
It's not
that.
always train more. The answer is always train more. Go out and train. Go out and shoot.
I haven't shot. Like, that was another thing. Like, usually I would shoot Sunday and then shoot on Monday, but I went to the Metallica concert on Sunday, so I didn't go shoot.
Just because the rank next to your name was lower 1 week than the rest, you can't just give up on the whole sport.
So what about my spidey sense of bullshit? And my spidey sense of bullshit just went off. Like, I was like, yeah, that's bullshit. No fucking way that person shoot better than I did.
Okay. Cool. It doesn't count for anything. Apart from opening that link and checking, like I did, which took me like 10 minutes of Googling, the match doesn't exist. This is not a nationally ranked. This is a practice match.
Yeah.
You go there to have fun. You go there to talk to people. You go there to shoot.
Shoot in the competition.
And try to get better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I say brush it off and don't let the fun stop.
Yeah. Come out with us on Sunday. We'll train a little bit so that the next day.
Well, like,
you've
why
got
don't we
some
just
training in you.
why don't we just make fucking USPSA stages at Kevin's? Like, why don't we
do?
Why don't we build all the fences and shit like that and like build real stages?
We can do that.
Like, why don't we do that?
We can. It's
I'll
because
do
we
it.
don't
I'll
have
do it
the
on my
fence.
fucking property. Like, I'm ready right now. I'm like, fuck it. You guys don't want to score me right, you cocks. I'll build my own range. Ah! Like, I got a bid from somebody. It's like $20,000 to clear those 7 acres and to build a Dirty Kids range.
Yeah.
They want like $20,000, maybe 27 or something.
Like with the turf?
No turf,
Oh,
rocks.
nice.
Rocks and it'll look like the Dirty Kid Ranch, but like 360. Or,
Yeah.
it'll be like a horseshoe this way, a little break, another horseshoe that way, and they want like $20,000 to do it.
Maybe they could sponsor this podcast and do
What do you
it
mean?
for free.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
We'll give you publicity.
We'll give you publicity.
What every freelancer loves to hear, right, Eric? We'll pay you in publicity.
Yeah, that'd be cool to do your own land and make like a couple different bays. So they can do a couple different stages.
Even like
always tear down.
the thing I liked about the night match was they had like buildings. You know, they had like little quasi buildings and shit, and like stairs and shit like that. I want to build that.
It's
know-
easy.
My dog just made a sound over
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Hear that? You guys took him for a walk today. He looked like he was going to die. He's an old dog. My dog Bear.
Old dog.
Yeah. Speaking of Bear, what about the riots? No, because Bear slept with me in the shop during like the potential
Yeah.
riots.
Oh,
in Sarasota.
clearly. Yeah. I made that connection.
Did you?
When you
No,
said-
he did
No.
not.
I thought the bear on the California flag.
No. Speaking of Bear, like what about the LA riots? And Saturday is No King's Day.
That's just Los Angeles, baby. They riot like every other year.
No, they're like you know about No King's Day, right?
No.
You don't?
No King's Day?
Yeah, No King's Day is Saturday.
What is No King's Day?
So No Kings is nokings.org is a website that's run by two
George Soros.
two communist people who are funded by different NGOs, and they is basically like a T-Rex for communist.
What a way to describe it.
Well, you know how T-Rex gives all kinds of really good advice, and they have like little articles and videos on how-tos and stuff.
Mhm.
It's kind of like that, but for communists and for demonstrators and stuff. And they're organizing countrywide protests that's happening on Saturday.
Good for them. They'll have a little tracker on the app that tells you where to go to find the fucking pallet of bricks.
So, yeah, it's true. Omar, that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So let me show you how many that are planned.
While you're doing that, we need roof Koreans.
Here. So this is just in California, where they're all planned.
We need more roof Koreans. We might start letting other Asian nationalities partake in the roof
There's
activities.
the middle part of the United States.
Is there any in Florida?
Yeah.
There's one in Sarasota
There's one in Sarasota
on Saturday.
That's going to be
Yeah.
so funny.
Look at Minnesota.
Oh, that's going to be so funny when they. I mean, there's a reason they tell you try that shit in Florida.
There's Florida.
Yeah, try that shit in Florida. We'll see how that goes. I'm sure it's going to go great for them.
I mean,
I just want to get protested.
You just want an excuse to shoot people.
No, I don't want. No, if they were like outside, I would go outside. I'd fucking strip down naked. I would like just take a shit. Like I would like strip down naked, fucking take a shit, like and put it in my hand and fucking chase them.
You know that
I would throw it on people. I would chase them. I would really do that. I would just do the most outrageous shit to fucking scare the hell out of them, so they'd never come back.
the thing that I keep thinking of is like, look at the
Imagine if I got like what it would be assault with a hand of shit.
bodily.
Bodily fluid. Yeah.
Assault with bodily fluid. They take me and arrest me and I'm
Some type of
naked.
hazmat charge or something.
I would do that.
the
What were you saying?
the thing I always think about is like that, comparing what the chief of police for LAPD says versus what like Grady Judd says, or just like I've seen a lot of comparisons where it shows like a Canadian police officer being like, leave your keys outside. If somebody wants to take your car, that's all they want. They're not going to want anything more. Just leave your keys, right in front of your door so they can take it if they break in. And then it cuts to Grady Judd being like, we want you to shoot the fucker. It will save us so many tax dollars.
Oh man, can you imagine if we have Grady Judd on the podcast?
That'd be awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Greatest sheriff. But yeah, I mean, there's a reason you keep seeing the comment of try that shit in Florida or try that shit in Texas. Like, we take law enforcement pretty seriously. We're not just going to let that happen. We won't need the National Guard.
But it did get out of hand in Tampa. I mean, it did get out of hand in Florida during the BLM riots. It did. Like, it got out of hand. Like, fucking, they torched or they didn't torch, but they looted all over University in Tampa. They fucking looted the mall really bad, and the cops knew they were coming. So, like don't underestimate the communists.
Fair
You know
enough.
what I mean?
Yeah, if there's enough people, like, there's nothing you can really do. Like,
Yeah. Unless you want to,
yeah.
American 180 is a full auto 22 submachine
Oh,
gun
yeah.
that has a big drum mag that holds over 100 rounds. And they used to use it as riot control, where they just spray 22 long rifle at the legs of protesters.
Where
This was like in the 1920s.
Americans did it.
Yeah, it's called the American 180. And I think we need to bring it back.
No, we don't.
I think there's a lot more to the. So there is. So did any of you guys like check out the riots when they're happening? Because they started happening Friday, and I was glued to it the
Yeah.
whole weekend. Because sorry, but riots are kind of an integral part of our business sometimes. They are. Like, if it
Yeah.
gets too bad, we make money. I got to make sure we have enough shotguns. Everybody wants a shotgun during a riot and a hurricane.
I've seen like a lot of little videos of that. It was just mind blowing that no one was doing anything about it.
I looked at it and I was like, it looks like it's starting. We're all wondering if anything is ever gonna change, and I was like, it looks like that looks bad. It looks bad.
Yeah, it did look pretty bad.
What do you think, Omar?
I'm not surprised in the least. LA does this all the time. And we saw 4 years ago or 5 years ago now, what the Summer of Love was. It's just that again, but
It's not though.
What about you, Luke?
I mean, here I go again. I got into it yesterday with Dean and Nate and Chris and Sandy, because I think this is like way being blown out of proportion, and it's like a psyop. And
I definitely I will explain my psyop theory here in a second if you guys let me.
I think that this is nowhere near like 5 years ago, and
Yet.
but as of now, as of June 11th, and like the whole Marines thing is like way too much. Like,
well, the Marines aren't okay. So that's one thing I want to clear up real quick, because I've had a lot of people come up to me and be like, "Can you
Talk to the
believe-"
microphone.
Sorry, I've had a lot of people come up to me and be like, "Can you believe that they're deploying fucking Marines on U.S. citizens?" And it's like, no, that's not what they're doing.
Who said that to you?
One of my liberal
Say Boosie. Say Boosie.
The National Guard and the Marine Corps are stationed in federal buildings. They do not take a step out of federal buildings because they do not have the authority to act as law enforcement, because Gavin Newsom will not allow the National Guard or the Marine Corps to act as law enforcement. They are there inside of federal buildings to protect the federal buildings in case that the federal buildings are raided. They are there. They are not allowed to step onto the sidewalk and do any sort of law enforcement anything.
I saw videos of National Guard behind ICE.
Yeah, I've seen them on the sidewalk.
I've seen them on the sidewalk.
If they are engaged first, then they can.
No, I mean their job is to protect ICE.
Sure, but there's no Marine like going and acting in a law enforcement capacity or going into crowds of people with 150 rounds on them or whatever. They are there to protect federal buildings because that's the legal limit to what they can do without Gavin Newsom's approval.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're engaged, if you throw a rock at one of them, yeah, all fucking hell's breaking loose and they're coming for you. But the whole like,
that's okay. You never. Sorry.
no, go ahead, please.
I feel like that's a big like you're like come on, do it. They're gonna like I don't know. I just feel like the left. This is what they all prophesize, that Trump's gonna use the military on its own people and he's a dictator, and like this is playing right into their hands, and it's over something that's not that big. Like I looked at the map yesterday after I talked to them. It's like a small little like 2-block area that's like this. It's nothing like 2020, and it's like I don't know. It just seems like we're like as Republicans or people on the right or MAGA or Trump or whatever you want to call it are overreacting on this, and it's only going to bite us in the ass in the midterms when people are like, look at what the MAGA did. They deployed our own troops on our own soil, and he's Hitler and all this stuff. Like we're just playing into that, and I just feel like it's politics. You have to like play the game, and he's not playing the game, which I like sometimes, but not this. This is like I don't know. I feel like this is really bad.
You just
for
let
Trump.
them do what they're doing, and it'll fizzle out. Is what you're saying?
No, I'm saying you don't deploy the Marines,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really not as big as what the media is lying about. Like,
So if he doesn't do that, how do we fix it?
it's already over.
It's not over, Luke.
It's gonna be over.
There's a curfew instituted in Los Angeles right now.
There's two areas. There's a spot, the downtown by the federal buildings, and then there's a spot in like Compton where it got a little crazy. That's two little areas.
Where was the Apple store that they broke into and stole everything? Where was the shoe store? Where was that?
I'm not sure where that is.
Exactly.
They clean their shits out.
But they do that during
What about-
they do that in Philly? They did that in Philly. No one talks about deploying the Marines.
When the cops were stuck under
Yeah,
that
because they went back to
underpass.
work the next day because they had to go to work. They stopped because they had to go to work. They were wasted. They sobered up and they were like, oh, okay. And they went back to work.
All right,
So
that's fair. But
I mean, it's not just Los Angeles right now. There's violent protest in New York, Chicago, Texas, Seattle, just to name a few that I know of specifically, that I've seen stuff. Like there's violent protests in all those places. So it's not just Los Angeles. I've heard the argument that it's a small portion of Los Angeles. I've been to Los Angeles. I've lived there for a month. I understand how big it is, but it's still they're throwing rocks on cars off the freeway. Karen Bass was chairman of the National Democratic Endowment Fund, which is a NGO, basically CIA funnel to undermine governments around the world, which they did probably, and they're probably the guys that took over Ukraine. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
So Karen Bass is kind of like Obama. She came out of nowhere. She was community organizer and then somehow got elected to the House of Representatives. She was there for years, for a good amount of time. And during that time, she was head of National Democratic Endowment Fund. National Democratic Endowment Fund is an NGO that was discovered through the Doge people, that they were a front for the CIA to use this type of tactic around the world. So what National Democratic Fund, so textbook CIA stuff, if you want to topple a government, you do exactly what they're doing. Like, so let's look at the first Summer of Love. First Summer of Love was BLM riots. Not to be confused with the real Summer of Love, which was 1968, where everything changed. But so what happened? And you're right. There's a grave difference in immigrant rights versus the George Floyd death. So the George Floyd death popped off. Whole country went crazy, and there were violent protests, violent riots, buildings burned quickly, which had 90 days of protest. I think there were 90 days of violent protest. The thing with the George Floyd riots that we learned is it basically forced a regime change. What happened was everybody who might have been centrist at the time, because remember, they turned a little bit to the left, enabling the people for the next election cycle to basically steal it and put where people thought that Biden could actually have won. So what I'm saying is what we're seeing is textbook CIA op. Textbook
against who?
And
who though?
Against us.
See, I think it's a
just
all right.
Bear with me for a second. So so if you're the CIA and you want to topple a government, what you do is you get a group of agitators to create unrest, which includes political violence, rioting, stuff along those matters, and then the media will jump on it and make the plight of the agitators felt amongst the populace and make it to where people think it's the right way to be, meaning the agitators, and the government is the bad people, and make it so bad that the rest of the public will think it's bad and the government will eventually get toppled, which happened with the BLM riots. Like the BLM riots got so bad. And I remember when the election came around, people were like, I just want us all to get along, so I'm voting for the old guy. And Trump got ousted. So you're going to see, and I'm not the only person who thinks this, you're going to see immigrant riots, immigrant unrest for the next year till the midterms. Which is 2006 November, and where they want to try to take control of the House again. There can't be a fucking coincidence that the immigrant riots start in Los Angeles. There's proof that LA was funding them. There's proof.
Right.
There's proof.
No,
that
I know.
There's proof that they're funding.
I agree with all this.
But and then there's no what? It's just a coincidence that fucking Karen Bass, who was in charge of fucking the CIA fomenting revolt around the world, is now having revolt fomenting in her town, which will thus possibly cause a switch in the political power structure of America in the midterms.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that they are baiting Trump and the Republicans and the feds to get involved to make him look bad. It's a psyop.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm a neutral voter, and some people say, "Oh, Trump's great," and the immigration, we need to stop illegal immigration. Some people say Trump's a Nazi and he's going to use the federal government on our own people. And then what do you see? You turn on the news and it's the Marines rolling into LA. You're like, yeah, he probably is a Nazi and he probably is like Hitler. This is what I'm saying, is that they are using this, even if it's genuine, if it's all set up. The reaction by Trump and the Republicans and the feds is going to bite us in the ass. And it could be baited, like, do something, and we're going to show how much of a fascist you are.
The problem, what I think this really, I get it. So I get what you're saying, and they're playing right into it. But the thing is, if they don't do something about the 20 million immigrants that are here illegally, if they don't do something about it, the political landscape will change.
I agree.
So if they so I get it. So Trump is looking, or maybe he's like, well, first off, he only has one term.
Right.
He only has one term, and then the chance of the Democrats coming up with somebody, unless it's George Clooney, like unless fucking George Clooney or Brad Pitt decides to run for president, they've got nobody.
What about Newsom?
No fucking way. No way. So they can choose. So if they don't act, if they let all these people here, it can change the House.
Yeah.
Right. It'll give funding, votes, seats to unbalance the political structure in America for the foreseeable future. For all of our lives, it'll be Democrat House, not the Senate, because there's only 2 seats, but there'll be Democrat House for the rest of fucking for the foreseeable future for our lives. So if they don't do something with the immigrant problem, then it's dire. My only thing that I think is why not? So why don't they come up with a compromise? Let's say, okay, so let's say, why don't they say, instead of fucking, because hello, like fucking, you can't argue with that illegal immigrants are a workforce. You can't argue with that. Like, you can't argue with fucking, like, there are, like, the majority of people who build houses are illegal immigrants. The majority of people who work in kitchens are illegal immigrants. We have none at Shark Coast because nobody fucking speaks Spanish. But majority of the workforce in America, illegal immigrants.
You think the majority of the workforce in America is illegal immigrants?
Yeah, in certain industries, yeah. I know. I mean, I can't. That's an absolute. I can't say for a fact, but I would bet that the majority of restaurants, construction, farm, illegal factories.
Majority.
The majority of the what's it called?
Workforce?
The majority of people who are immigrants who are there are probably illegal.
Okay,
Yeah.
that I can
Yeah.
understand,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't say the majority of the workforce is
Well, the majority
illegal.
there's not white guys fucking doing roofs. There's not white guys building fucking. There's white guys.
Michael Manning. Shout out Michael Manning.
Yeah, but he's running the company.
Yeah, I know.
Like, he's running the. So you can't just take your workforce and fucking eradicate it. You can't do that. That would be like I saw them raid some kind of food company and they took 100 people away. Can you imagine if they fucking raided us and they took 30 of the fucking they took all the sandblasters? Like, it would shut you down. So it'll have dire consequences to the economy. But why not have not amnesty? I'm not saying amnesty like everybody's legal. Why not say, okay, you have the ability to at least start the process. Give you the ability to start the process. And if you are deemed fucking like, you're here, okay, so if you're deemed where you're like, it's just like us. If we want to go to like, if you want to go live in what's it called? Portugal. If you retire, you have to prove that you have at least $2,500 worth of funds to live in Portugal as a retired American. And then, so you have to, and if you go other countries, you have to prove that you have like a skill or something to that you're essential if they want to let you in. Like, you can at least get vetted. It's okay, you're not a criminal. You have family here. They go through a process. Elon can make it fucking Elon can make it streamlined, but at least some kind of fucking compromise as opposed to playing right into their hands and the psyop and fucking and turning the American electorate against what they see. Because if you have fucking Beyonce and Tom Morello and all of the fucking entertainment industry and people of entertainers, sports people, if everybody starts getting against it, it'll fucking change. It'll change the landscape, which happened during the fucking George Floyd thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can I give my compromise?
No, I'm just saying. No, of course you
you're
can
good.
give your own I'm just saying that. Why not have a compromise? Like, why isn't you don't hear them saying anything like that? It's just ICE raids, fuck them, throw them out.
Right. And to that, and the way they do it, like, I don't know, like, feds in masks running around the streets is not cool to me for anybody.
See that I don't agree with.
What do you mean?
Because you have to wear a mask so you don't get doxxed, and you wear kit. It's part of. That's just like that's like people.
I guess.
No, I mean it's the uniform, dude. Like, you wear a fucking kit. Like, if you're an officer, you wear a fucking plate carrier. You have kit on it. You have different tools on it.
The kit I get, but the masks is like it's.
So let everybody know your
terrible
identity?
optics. I'm just saying it's
Fuck
terrible
optics.
But that's what this is all about.
What's your compromise, Omar?
If you hate America, we'll pay for your flight out of here. I feel like that'll solve a lot of our problems. Like, it doesn't matter if you're an immigrant, if you were born here, if you're illegal, legal. If you hate America, if you say, I hate America, if you burn the American flag and wave another nation's flag on our streets, we'll pay for your flight. Good luck wherever you end up.
I am all about it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The thing that I've always thought about is like just the absolute insane amount of people who all they say is I hate America, and they live here and they definitely fucking eat the fruit of everybody else's labor. And a lot of the time they're a burden on the US taxpayer. Like the amount of people that live off of social welfare systems and hate America, the guy who's paying like the country that's paying for your food and house, and he's like, I fucking hate America. I'm burning the American flag. First of all, if you burn the American flag, I cannot believe that's not illegal. I understand First Amendment and all, but fuck you. You don't get First Amendment protections if you're burning the thing that represents the First Amendment.
Or if you're not from this country.
Or if you're not from this country. That's a, like, this is even past the whole immigrant thing. I'm a legal immigrant, and it already pisses me off enough.
Allegedly. I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
I am a United States citizen.
You are.
I work
Absolutely.
hard to get where I am. And seeing these people who walked over the border and wave, another nation's flag and burn the if you burn that fucking American flag, things should happen to you in Minecraft.
While
That's all
waving
I'll
another
say.
country's flag.
Well,
yeah.
like fuck you.
Yeah.
Like fuck yourself.
Yeah.
That's a spin on everybody's faces, but especially when you start stacking it with, people who live off of the system, people who are given welfare that are still saying these things like, dude, that's cool. Instead of paying for your food for the next 40 years, I will pay for a flight. Fuck it. I will give you a down payment on a house and wherever the fuck you want to live. Get out. No longer our problem. I would love to see that.
It's not realistic.
It's not realistic, but I mean, at least the flight thing is realistic. Like, just
It's not realistic. No one's going to say, "Oh yeah, I hate America."
Well,
They're not going to get on the flight.
They're not going to get on the flight.
Because they
Yeah.
would leave it already on their own.
They'll probably sell the flight.
it's just so infuriating to me.
They want to change it. They want to change America, the fundamental.
Yeah, this
America.
is the only nation on earth that's like this. Go to fucking any of the other 300 that are already the way you want it to be. Go fucking live in Sweden or Norway or wherever the fuck you want to live. Be happy there. This is the one nation on earth built upon the ideals that we live for. This is a fucking experiment in history, and there's only America. There's nowhere else like it. Instead of trying to change the one country that's the way it is, fuck off to the million countries that arrest you for making a fucking joke on Twitter. That's clearly where you want to live. Go live in the fucking UK. We got to work something out with some countries' leaders. Be like, hey, you can have all these guys. You can fucking have them.
Even though your take is pretty radical, we don't even have that. And that's what I'm saying is it makes me skeptical of everything. It makes me skeptical. Why wouldn't they have a plan? Of at least you got to have a plan. Beside, there's not enough fucking agents to take out 20 million people. There's not. There's not enough. You don't have enough people. There's not enough time in the day. You're not going to. It's a strategy that's designed to fail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just going to increase fucking people's communist leanings. That's the thing too. What's her name? Fucking who I just talked about, Bass. Admitted socialist. Admit it. She's it says on her bio, Karen Bass is a socialist. The thing that gets me with it's easy to convince all these people communism is good, right? Obviously because you have all these kids talking about socialism and communism and getting into it. But the thing is when I look at these kids with their blue hair and their piercings and not knowing what gender they are, I look at them like, dude, you think you're fucking smarter than Che Guevara? You think you're smarter than Lenin? You think you're smarter than Stalin? So the communists who took over different countries, smart people, smart fucking people. I mean, Che Guevara was a doctor. I think Castro was a lawyer.
He also shot gay people.
No, I'm not saying they didn't do bad things like that. I'm not saying, but what I'm saying is every time it's fucking failed.
Yeah.
Every time it's fucking failed. Besides Vietnam. And then, but if you get into Vietnam, you can go look at how many people were killed and where the country is now and is it better? But communism, it's known it doesn't fucking work. It's known, and if it would have worked, so when communism popped up as a philosophy, all the leaders of Europe freaked out because they thought the communists were going to take over all of Europe, and it fizzled out because it doesn't fucking work. Lenin, who was a really fucking smart guy. Lenin's fucking really smart. Like I look at these people like, what, you think you fucking know more about shit than Lenin? Fuck off. You heard of Trotsky? Like fucking, like ain't none of you got anything on these people. And they tried it and it didn't fucking work. You think you're going to do better? You know what I mean? So, and that's makes me believe it's all a fucking scam. It's all a fucking scam. You have all these impressionable kids who are taught communist rhetoric, and the people that are controlling them, who are getting taught, are just rich fuckers in ivory towers. They're like, I get the fucking commies to do my dirty work.
If you aren't a liberal when you're young, you have no heart. If you are still a liberal when you are old, you have no brain.
It's when I was growing up, it was if you don't like communism, you're a dumbass.
You're heartless. You have no empathy. Empathy is the new word that they love to use.
But
it's all about empathy.
I said empathy a while back.
No, that's what the whole worldview is based off of.
But it doesn't fucking work.
Of course it doesn't.
It doesn't fucking work. It's never. And so how are you going to make it now to where it works? You know what? You people think they're fucking better than Che Guevara was a fucking boss, dude.
Why are you up talking Che Guevara so much?
Because look, I was into communist philosophers and teachers like when I was a kid. I followed. I mean, I've read the Communist Manifesto. I followed Che Guevara. I followed Trotsky. I looked their history. I have a degree in history. I studied it and stuff like that. And I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm sympathetic to it, but I'm not going to say Che Guevara was fucking dumb. He wasn't. He was the opposite of dumb. I'm not going to say Castro was dumb. He's the opposite of dumb. I'm not going to say Lenin was probably a fucking. I mean, he took over Russia, took that fucking shit over while he was fucking in Germany on.
How'd that end up for him?
In exile, huh?
How'd that end up for him?
What he died of natural causes. No, he didn't. He didn't get killed. Lenin didn't get killed, homie.
You don't think it had anything to do with Stalin?
No. I don't.
You don't think he got backstabbed at all?
No, he was sick for a while. There's pictures of him like where he degenerated, unless they poisoned him over time, which is possible. But there's pictures of him degenerate. Like he had a massive stroke and he couldn't talk.
Well, Stalin would never do anything that bad.
What, poison people? Of course. No, but it's Stalin. Anyway. So I know a lot about the history of communism, but it doesn't make me like cherish it. It just makes me realize, like, I mean, I know that these people weren't fucking dummies, and I know that communism doesn't fucking work because these really fucking talented people in revolution, like they were talented in revolution, it didn't fucking work for them. They formed governments. Their governments turned into tyranny. Those tyrannies resulted in the deaths of millions and millions of people, and still those countries today are not fucking working. China is now a quasi fucking market based communism, totalitarianism. So it's known it doesn't work. Scholars know it doesn't work, but these kids are taught this by billionaires who are just trying to fucking take over. And we're all playing into it. Except me.
You got a show and tell?
I do. It's very, it's pretty, it's communist.
What is that?
This is a Chinese Type 56 SKS. It's pretty cool. I brought it in because we just got in like 5 of them. I don't know how many are left, but they're sick guns. I mean, they're affordable. This one I bought like probably 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, that's yours. That's not ours?
No, this is mine. Yeah.
Oh, it looks just like ours.
Yeah, it's a little nicer. No, I'm kidding. I did. It was really bad shape wood, so I sanded it down and refinished it. This was the first time I've ever done that. It's kind of bad, but yeah, they're just really fun guns to shoot. There's a lot of history with them. Designed by Russia during World War II, and then they sent the idea out to like any communist country that wanted it. They would send them like the blueprints and teach them how to make it. China made millions of them. Really cool. The other thing I have is you get one of these, you have to get the correct Chinese.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Chest rig.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
I didn't know you had that.
Yeah.
I'll buy that off you.
And, stripper clips, takes 10-round stripper clips. Pretty sweet. Pretty fun gun. Cheap to shoot. It's still, it's semi-auto. It works perfect. Has the bayonet, really cool.
If you buy one, don't put a Tapco stock on it.
Yeah,
Please.
don't Bubba it.
Do not Bubba SKSs. It's the saddest thing in the world, Will. Seeing priceless gems get ruined by recycled beach plastic.
Don't take that, Will. Get him.
I would like to have both.
Yeah.
I would love to have an SKS and a fucking Tapco stock. I would love it. I would give anything.
It's almost like retro
Not anything.
now.
Like if I oh God. Yeah. Like I get all smiling.
You like the Tapco stuff?
I had one. I sold it. I sold it at my first gun show. Sold my SKS with it in the Tapco stock with the scope that didn't work. There's a mount that goes in the back of that thing. There's a mount that you put on it, and you can put like this little 3-9 scope that NC Star made it back in the day, and it would never hold zero. And it would never stay on. I loved it.
They're cool.
The cool thing about the SKS, well, it's kind of scary and disturbing, but the reason that there's nothing that can come off, like the magazine stays on, the bayonet stays on, everything stays on because it's for conscripts, like people that they make be in the military, because those people don't really care about being in the military or their guns or whatever. And they found that with guns like that, they lose shit. And with this, you can't lose anything.
Like production people.
Yeah. It's everything is bolted on and nothing will come off, which is pretty interesting.
What do you have for show and tell, Omar?
Traveling down to good old Austria, I brought my Thing 1 and Thing 2. This is Greenie and this is Meanie. These are my two Glock 17s. I am very proud of them.
Why don't you have sights in Meanie?
Well, Meanie doesn't need sights because he's a competition gun.
I understand, but do you want me to give you some sights or something?
No, I have sights. I don't put them on there because it looks so much cooler without them.
I just see a big hole.
Yeah, there's a hole there. This is Greenie. This is a factory Battlefield Green Glock 17. Both of these are factory color. They weren't Cerakoted, so the polymer comes this color from Glock. I'm trying to collect all of them, but there's some that are in Obtanium. Battlefield Green Glock comes with the green mags too. It's all OEM parts basically. I had Dan, our CNC guy, mill the slide for an acro with the rear sight forward, which I love because your rear sight can't block your red dot. And you're looking both eyes open through it anyways, doesn't make a difference. I've got these Angry Bear sights that perfectly peak just on the bottom edge of the acro.
Shout out to Angry Bear.
Shout out to Angry Bear. Surefire X300 Vampire, so I can flick this and suddenly it does infrared light, so I can use it at night matches. And I've got Arendano mag extensions +5s, and everything else is stock. Love this thing. This one goes in my Safari Lane holster on my Orion belt. And I think it is awesome. And then
I miss my 17.
You should get another 17.
Yeah.
This one is Meanie. This is a factory gray Glock 17. Comes with gray mags. I put a Zev Duty slide on it with a Trijicon SRO and a Johnny Glock trigger. This one is my competition gun. It goes in a regular old open top holster. Goes onto my competition belt, which is also gray. Everything is color matched because I'm that flavor of autism. And this one shoots really nice because that trigger is super light and easy to run. And Trigger Tech, the guys who make Dean's bolt gun trigger, just came out with a Glock trigger. I tried to buy it, but they were out of stock. So as soon as they get in stock, I'm going to buy one of those, put in there.
We have 10 on order.
You have Trigger Tech Ace?
Yeah, yeah. They contacted me and they were like, "You're gonna want this trigger," and I'm like, "No, I'm not." And like, "Yeah, you are."
Yeah, I want one.
And I said, and they're like, "How many do you want?" I'm like, "I'll take 10."
Oh man, I need the 17. I would like to try it. We'll try yours. Let me
Yeah,
shoot yours.
I'll put mine in. We'll go out shooting. You'll try mine, see if you want to get one again.
What's gonna happen in Johnny Glock if Trigger Tech can create better triggers?
Oh,
I'm sure Johnny will be
He's got
just
enough
fine.
money.
I'm
Yeah.
sure Johnny will be just fine. He's always coming up with stuff. But the main reason I brought these two out specifically is just to kind of demonstrate the purpose of having guns be purpose-driven. I feel like one thing that people do a lot in the firearms industry is try to make a GPR or, a recce rifle or one gun that can do everything, and I don't think that's the way to go. I think having multiple guns be very similar, so of course these are both Glock 17s, is very nice, because then your training kind of carries over. Switching to a completely different platform is not advised. But originally, the reason it ended up like this is because I tried to make Greenie over here both. It had the X300, it had a stock trigger, so it's as, durable and reliable as possible, or whatever you want to call it. But I had an SRO on there, which will break if the gun falls. So I tried to switch it the other way around. I put an acro on it, but then I was like, I want a better trigger and whatnot. It basically resulted in trying to make one gun do multiple things that are on the complete opposite sides of the spectrum. Doesn't work out very well. These are purpose-driven guns now, so it makes a lot more sense to me. I think with rifles, something similar is also recommended. I would recommend, instead of having a 16-inch rifle with an LPVO that, you have set up, it's like, 13 pounds and you have it set up to be able to take any possible situation on as possible. Just get an 11.5, get a 14.5, trick them out accordingly, have purpose-built firearms. That's what I practice. Oh, also, CAGWorks, I think they're Primata now. This slide catch is awesome because I hold my Glocks at a very high angle, and usually my slide stop doesn't work. This one is very cool. Thanks for coming to my Omar talk.
I had production build me this. This is my show and tell. This is our new anime gun. Or it's not really, this one is not really called the anime. This is called, no, actually it is the anime. So, not Sports South, RSR carries our line of Glocks that have this paint scheme to it. This paint scheme to it is Outlander paint scheme, I think is what it's called. We have a white one, a green one, a blue one, a gray one. I wanted a white one. I like white, and I'm still not 100% happy with it. I'm probably going to laser engrave this to give it black. I'm not a purpose-driven dude. I just like shit that I like, and I'm probably the different autism spectrum than Omar. I'm like on the other autism spectrum. But the thing I do like, this is Zafari Precision's chunk port barrel that they offer. We use it, and they're partners of ours, and we use it in this gun. I think that it shoots flatter for me. I'm not sure what Omar thinks about it. What do you think about the chunk porting guns?
They definitely shoot flatter. I personally hate compensators, ports, all of that, but that's just a personal thing because of how high round count I like to shoot. I feel like I get a minor traumatic brain injury when I shoot
that's right. He think
gun. Whether it's a muzzle brake compensator, it fucks with my head too much.
So I took one that was in a different color scheme, and it was blemmed, and I carried it for a while. I shot it. I love it. And now this is going to be my new one. Something I do like to do is I like to carry the guns that we make for different distributors. I like to put rounds down range to make sure they work, and I'm happy with it. And I really like, we call this the Orca. It's available at RSR. They're in different, this is the Orca cut. This will be the actual anime gun. We have these on order with RSR, and you'll see them and you can be able to buy them. But it's fucking dope. I love it. But I just need to make this black right here somehow.
What did you want to call it before it was called the Orca?
The Glory Hole.
That's the internal name. It's
the Glory Hole. Nobody would let me call it the Glory Hole. All right, we're going to call it. We've been here for probably way too long. I want to thank my homies for spending time with me. And I understand it takes away from your time, your own personal time. And that means a lot to me. To sit and do a video with you guys and talk the shit and talk about guns and communism and shit. But thanks for watching. If you get the opportunity, please like our page and subscribe to us. Go to our other pages. And we do this, obviously, we're not sponsored by anybody. We do this purely to try to get a better internet footprint and to try to grow our business. There's a lot of people here who depend upon you coming here and being patrons. 58 people or 59 people so far, I think, because I fired one yesterday. But we appreciate you guys watching.
Before you go, I just want to say, by the time this video goes up, a lot of the things that we debated, the truth will come out just like the TRX thing did. Hold us accountable. Leave a comment. It really helps with the algorithm. Reaches more people when people comment. So comment. How did
Please
we do?
comment.
A week from now?
It could all be different.
Yeah.
Peace.